war. Huh. Yeah.
What
What
is
is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Sing it again.
Whoa. Huh. Yeah.
Just the old man in the back who's just like, whoa, yeah.
You know what it was? It was like some guy in the back, and they just had like a hot iron poker, and they're just hitting him, and he's like, Oh, lordy, bordy, bagordy. Guys, welcome to Real Awkward, the podcast of 1,000 souls. No, 99. So I said it wrong.
99 souls.
It's 99 because I don't have one.
Oh, Ginger.
Oh, girl.
Guys, my name is Andy.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Ashley.
Yay!
Yay.
By the way, I found out the blonde hair or brown hair with ginger beard does not necessarily mean that you were from Ireland or that you had Irish blood in you. It is a genetic mutation. So I am closer to being an X-Men than either one of you.
Define genetic mutation.
No. A little derp.
I was gonna say this is Andy's way of telling us he has an extra chromosome.
I feel like maybe you're missing one.
You're
Yeah, right.
funny. Gosh, these girls, I tell you. Guys, if this is the first time that you've ever heard our podcast, we talk about all sorts of fun, nerdy, pop culture, goofy, and sometimes outrageous content. Sorry,
No.
Amanda. Amanda's cringing right now in her seat.
Yes, correct.
We're the three best friends that anyone could have. And we used to work at Blockbuster, and we knew a lot about movies. Now, not so much for some reason as we go through stuff.
You know, if you don't use it, you
Accurate.
lose it.
You kind of do lose
Accurate.
it. A little bit. A little bit. You really do lose it. So, but on today's episode, I have something for you.
Uh-oh.
This is, as you know from the thumbnail already, you dirty listeners, this is going to be movies that hurt actors. Dun dun dun
Dun dun dun.
dun 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 dun. Oh wait, that turned into Mission Impossible. So here we go. So we're gonna talk about some of these. I think it was actually really interesting because this isn't just necessarily that they were physically hurt. Some of them were emotionally upset about the film or it killed their career.
Or killed them.
Yes. Yeah.
Gasp.
Or killed them. Okay. So do you guys want to go about the people that were physically hurt first or emotionally hurt first? Because it's two separate lists.
Wait, I can't hear the list about people who died on set.
No, we're not talking about dying. That's a different list. That's a different
Ashley just
episode.
said died.
No, not died.
I'm talking more about like
I'm not talking about the crow in this episode.
Mr. Heath Ledger.
No, we're not talking about that type of stuff. We're talking about people that were injured trying to work on the movie.
Okay,
But
so
they're
how
still
many
with
of
us.
these?
There's 22.
How many?
22.
How many are Tom Cruise?
Aha, one is Tom Cruise. He is on this list. And then 30. So it's 50 total, which I think is good. It kind of we can
Okay.
roll it out in a minute for each one. So let's do physically hurt first because emotionally hurt, I think people will relate
That goes
to.
deeper.
That gets deep. That's deep.
Okay.
So here we go. By the way, BuzzFeed, if you guys are a fan of BuzzFeed, they have some pretty good articles. This one caught my
Oh,
eye.
so you're just gonna read us a BuzzFeed article?
Yes, but this will be better than our Patreon only exclusive that talks about plastic surgery, which
God.
has not released yet. Okay, here we go. Number 1. While filming Castaway, Tom Hanks refused to bathe, which ended up nearly killing him after he caught a staph infection from a wound on his leg. Did you know this, Amanda?
No, that sounds disgusting.
I mean, I guess it's good to know that the filth is real.
Yes. Tom Hanks says, Castaway put me in the hospital. I was there for 3 days. Believe it or not, it almost killed me. I got an infection from a cut, and it was eating away through my leg. I didn't know. I just thought I had a sore. Went to the doctor, who took one look and said, I have to get you to the hospital because if we don't get this out, it's going to get into your blood and you're going to die. So wild, I say.
I mean, that's probably what would happen if you were a castaway.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's like hardcore method acting.
Especially, yes. And you'll notice that some of these people are injured because they were method acting, which is their own fault. Okay, Sylvester Stallone. He wanted the fighting scenes in Rocky IV to be so good. He asked Dolph Lundgren, just hit me for real, bro. Go out there and try to clock me. So he did. And Dolph Lundgren hit so hard, he broke multiple rib cages and...
Multiple rib cages?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he was hitting fools left and right.
Just all the extras. He's just punching them.
broke.
Why did we hear about Dolph Lundgren going crazy?
I'm going to break your rib cage and your rib cage.
Your rib cages. All your rib cages.
All your rib cages. He hit him so hard, he hit his heart against his rib cage, which is commonly only seen in head-on collisions of cars.
Oh, fuck. That's like
Dude.
major trauma to your
Like-
heart.
Sorry, if I was Dolph Lundgren
Yeah.
and he was like, just hit me, I would not hit that hard.
I know. You'd be like, chill, Dolph.
I feel like this whole scenario is a very man thing to
Chill,
happen.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know what? That movie probably looked legit because it was. He was
I'm
actually hitting him.
sure.
In 2019, Zac Efron was in Papua New Guinea filming a show killing Zac Efron, and he contracted a bacterial infection. They think that it was typhoid fever, but he ended up having to be airlifted to Brisbane, Australia, where he was hospitalized for a while.
Wow.
I know. And some people were like, oh, dang. But I like Zac Efron now.
Yeah, poor you. You had to go to Papua New Guinea.
Oh, darn. Oh, shoot, darn. Okay. Dude, Halle Berry was kicked by her co-star, Valentina Shevchenko, in the filming of Bruised. She was an MMA fighter. She broke 2 of her ribs. But Halle Berry just kept going with the scene. She said, the fighter in me said, you just have to keep going. Some Advil will get you through it. So literally broke her ribs for the scene. Yeah.
So she got bruised for the
Yeah.
movie Bruised.
Legit. Have you
Zabba-dabba-da.
broken a rib, Andy? Didn't you?
Yes. When I was
Rib?
10 years old, me and my cousin were climbing up a tree. One of the limbs broke and I fell about 10 feet out of the tree. Maybe even longer, or maybe even higher.
Further.
I remember hitting the branches on the way down, and then I hit a root on my rib and
Whoa.
I passed out. I woke up on my aunt's couch. Creepy enough, she was a collector of gnomes. So I like wake up and all these gnomes are staring at me. And my recovery time was probably like 4 to 6 weeks. And my sister would mess with me. She'd try to hand me something and then pull it away because she knew it hurt me if I moved too fast.
Bitch.
But yeah,
You were supposed to just be like a little Advil getting through.
Yeah, no, you're. I'm 10 years old. Mom, I just need a little Advil. We're climbing that tree.
Mom, leave the bottle.
I'll take the whole thing. Isla Fisher nearly drowned in front of the entire cast and crew filming the underwater scene in Now You See Me. She said the crew didn't catch on right away because everyone just assumed she was good at acting. They thought she was Meryl Streeping it, as they said. In the scene, she was chained and submerged in the water tank, and there were supposed to be quick-release magnetic chains that she was handcuffed to, and the chain got stuck between her legs, and she couldn't break it, so she got stuck.
Dude,
So
that's
she was
terrifying.
legitimately drowning during the scene, and they just thought that she was just acting really well.
Yeah, I actually knew that one.
Right? Isn't
I've
that-
heard of
that's
that before.
creepy,
That's
man.
wild.
I just don't understand. Like, I know, sure, there's a failsafe there, but that's maybe one that could be overlooked very easily.
Yeah, nobody's like, don't want to ruin the scene just in case.
Oh,
like,
she was really good. I do wonder if they kept that take though of her looking terrified. Like,
Well, and
creepy.
I wonder, like, why were there no signals that she could give them
I
to be
know.
like, problem?
yep.
well, I mean, they probably thought because she had that chain or whatever that they were good to go.
They're like, she just pulls it.
Yeah.
She gets out of there. It's fine. She's not doing it. I wonder why. Like everyone's just
Yeah.
staring at each other.
Dang.
Aston Kutcher gave himself pancreatitis twice.
Aston.
Oh, Ashton. Aston. Austin Kutcher.
Oh my
Sorry,
god.
say it again. I was paying attention to the
Sorry,
Aston part.
Ashton
Yeah,
Kutcher.
I couldn't get over that part.
Ashton Kutcher.
Kutcher.
Wow.
Hoochie Coochie gave
Oh my
himself
God.
pancreatitis, was hospitalized twice while he was preparing to play the role of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was known as a fruitarian and only lived on fruit. So Ashton Kutcher tried this, and it basically like made his pancreas go wild, and he had to go to the hospital.
that
multiple
real?
times. I don't know.
Yes.
He
Yes.
was a fruitarian?
Yes. Yes.
That's
That
crazy.
sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Also, did he die of pancreatic cancer?
Yes.
Well, what would you do if
Okay.
you only ate sugary
Everybody
fruit
out
all day
there,
long?
if you're
I don't know.
considering a fruit-only diet, don't do it.
Actually, I don't know if it was pancreatitis. I don't know
yeah.
what kind of cancer he had, but I know that he died from his cancer. And obviously, like, there was other things happening, but like, I can't imagine being a fruitarian helped your body.
Jobs was diagnosed with a rare form of pancreatic cancer.
My God, fruitarians. Also, that word is made up. That's a made up word.
That word is made up. Well, I mean, R.I.P. Steve Jobs, dude. He did some wonderful things in this world, but a fruitarian decision is a very weird one to me.
I mean, you think of him as a smart guy, and then
Apple. He
he
created Apple. He's like, I'm
like,
going
I will-
out.
I will
That's how
only
I'm
eat
going out.
apples.
Hey guys, you know how much I love fruit, right?
He's like, they're like, bet.
I
bet you could
Yeah,
eat
I
apples
know.
for the rest of your life.
Fruitarian sounds like some dumb shit that a kid makes up to tell their parents that they only want to eat grapes for dinner.
Yeah, well,
Like-
and that's all he ate. So that was what was funny is he just ate grapes all the time, says Mila Kunis. And then he ended up in the hospital. She goes, it was really dumb. Okay, while filming the scene Black Swan, Natalie Portman dislocated one of her ribs. I didn't know you could just dislocate a rib. I didn't think they were connected as a joint. I thought they're fused to your body's like spine
I don't know.
and sternum. Okay. Anyway, there was no medic on set to help her. She explained that eventually she did get medical attention, but not before the director, Darren Aronofsky, made her finish the scene in pain. She goes, in the scene, there's a physical therapist working on her ribs because she's hurt. That was real. He was trying to put it back, and Darren Aronofsky was like, film it. So in the scene where she's actually in pain, it's because, and he goes, stay in the character's voice during the scene as they're fixing your rib. Is that crazy?
There are
I'd be like,
joints in your
yeah,
ribs.
go fuck yourself.
Okay. Yeah, right. That's what I would say too. Well, I'm sorry, Ash, what was that?
There are joints in your ribs.
Okay, where?
Interesting.
So like there's your sternum, and then
Uh-huh.
there's the cartilage, and
Yeah.
then there's the joint is between the sternum and the cartilage.
Interesting. I mean, I guess they have to move for your organs.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
okay. While filming Mission Impossible 6,
Thomas
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise broke his ankle while leaping from one building to another, and he just continued to run on it so that he could finish the stunt.
You can see that footage. You
Yep.
can watch. They left it in the movie, but
Yep.
like online, you can see it. You can see where he breaks it, and you're like, "Oh fuck!" And then he just keeps going.
Yeah, it says that he didn't want to film the stunt again, so he just pushed through, and they left it in the movie.
Honestly,
Yep.
that's the best time if you get hurt to just keep going
Why?
because you don't feel it yet.
Oh, sure. I understand.
Like it hasn't like kicked in.
Right.
So just keep going and then hurt later.
Did you guys watch Maze Runner at all?
Yeah.
So Dylan O'Brien, who's I think the lead in that film, he fell off a moving vehicle and was hit by another vehicle that was following behind the film.
Oh,
Ended
shit.
up with a concussion, a facial fracture, and lacerations.
Dang.
And he still claims mental trauma after the incident that he can't like.
Well, imagine you hit in the head with a truck.
Right? Is that pretty brutal?
Yeah, he got run over.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
dude got run over, brah.
Dude, how do you keep filming after that?
I don't know.
So that guy, like, sidebar nation, that guy has been in a bunch of stuff that, like, I didn't know he was the same guy. Like, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
yeah.
so he was in this movie called Love and Monsters that I actually liked. It was very much to me kind of like a romantic like Fallout. Like it's like after the
Oh,
world
I saw
ends and
that
he's
one too,
trying to get
Amanda.
first place.
It's where he's hopping from Fallout to Fallout. Like,
Yeah, kind of
Right?
like he's trying
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
across the country, kind of. But then
Yep.
he was also an actor in this movie. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called The Outfit. It's like a
Okay.
mob movie. It's not your traditional mob movie, so I would say like anyone who likes kind of like a slow burn thriller, The Outfit. But
Okay.
he's in that, and I absolutely loved it. And it's only like an hour and 40 minutes, so it's not like it's crazy, but he's in that movie and I really like it. So
nice. I'll have
There's
to
that.
check. I'll have to check it out because I thought he was a decent actor.
He's also the
I-
voice
the-
of
the few
Bumblebee
things-
in Bumblebee.
Oh, really? Okay.
interesting. I like him. So
Next up, Priyanka Chopra was filming Quantico, and she fell and hit her head, sending her to the emergency room. She was supposed to be saving someone as usual and was wearing rubber boots because it was raining and there was plastic on the floor. She slipped and just literally hit her head on concrete. So that happened. to
that's a
her.
little less. That's a little less climactic than the
Can I just
previous
say,
one.
though,
Where the guy got fucking hit by 2 cars.
I know, right?
Priyanka Chopra should have been
Jasmine,
Jasmine in the Aladdin live action.
100.
Is she the one who's married to one of the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah,
100.
Okay.
She,
Yeah.
number one, she's beautiful,
she's
but
beautiful,
she has
and she looks like freaking Jasmine.
she has a dope Jasmine look.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have made it happen.
She has
I
a
like her. I like
dope
Quantico.
Jasmine look.
dope Jasmine look.
That's what it says on my Tinder profile. I'm into girls
Yeah.
with dope Jasmine looks. Colin Firth developed headaches, a pinched nerve in his arm, and a stutter of his own after portraying George VI in The King's Speech.
Oh, boo boo.
Interesting.
Yep. He said, I had to learn to stammer and then play someone trying desperately not to. It put my left arm to sleep. It was very particular. I must have been locking something up. I pinched my nerve and it was semi-paralysis that would last me for 3 or 4 days at a time. As he was
Whoa.
like trying to like hold back a stammer that he developed on himself.
Did you ever see that, Amanda?
No,
I don't think we ever saw that either.
I think it was Academy Award something.
yeah, it was a big deal.
it was. My mom. I remember my mom watched it. She liked it, but it's very much not my kind of movie. So
Yeah, it's like
I
it's
just
like a
didn't-
long drama, right?
it's a drama.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a period drama.
Margot Robbie trained on the ice for 5 hours a day
for I, Tanya.
5 months. Yep, for I, Tanya. But she herniated her disc in her neck by doing all of the moves.
Whoa.
I wonder if that's a common ice skater issue.
Well, yeah, because your body's going one direction, right? On the ice while your head is trying to keep up.
Yeah.
I imagine. She says there was a lot of bumps and bruises, lots of blisters. I herniated a disc in my neck. My arm started to go numb for months at a time. But it was the disc getting herniated that made her have the most pain. So, have you guys heard about The Wizard of Oz? Margaret Hamilton, who played the witch.
I've never heard of that movie, nor am making an episode about that movie.
So I won't take away too much from this, but she
Did a
suffered.
house fall on her?
No, she suffered second degree
That,
burns.
if only.
She suffered second degree burns from the scene of the fire when she disappears.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Their practical effects weren't that good, huh?
Nope. So anyway, when we do our episode
Amanda's
of
like, shut up, shut up,
yeah,
guys,
no.
shut
When
up.
we do our episode of Wizard of Oz, I'll let Amanda do more detail on how crazy that was, but that happened to her.
Yeah, I mean, all I'll say about The Wizard of Oz is that is one of many different, like, horrible things that happen to these actors.
Yeah.
And if that's something that you are interested in, keep your eyes out, because I am going to do a whole episode about The Wizard of Oz and how bananas it was. But no, that poor woman, like, part of her contract was that, like, she can't, like, be another, like, witch or whatever ever again. And, like, that's all anybody...
I better
That's
not
all-
be a witch ever again, you sons
I know.
of bitches.
That's all anyone, like, ever knew her as. And, like,
Yeah.
the whole thing, like, really killed her career.
Yes. Yep. I imagine so. And she's burned. Jesus.
Yeah.
While filming My Left Foot, Daniel Day-Lewis refused to get out
Oh
of
my
his
God.
refused to get out of his wheelchair and sat hunched over the entire time, breaking 2 ribs in the process because he held the position for so long.
Oh wait, so he got like so stiff?
Yep. He also made the crew members carry him around the set and spoon feed him because he wouldn't get out of character.
Dang.
I'm sorry, that sounds insufferable.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis, that's how he acts.
Yeah,
Like,
Yes.
I've heard that.
he's a method actor, and it's ridiculous. Michelle Yeoh, she is from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
yeah.
Obviously.
yeah, she just won a Golden Globe for Everything Everywhere All at
Oh,
Once.
nice.
She's incredible.
She tore her ACL needing surgery after running across the rooftops. Obviously, that movie had so much of that style. I imagine people got hurt. I'm not surprised
Yeah.
by that one at all.
Should have talked to Tom Cruise.
Oh, hey, look, Daniel Day-Lewis caught pneumonia
No.
because he refused to wear any warmer coat between scenes in Gangs of New York. Yep.
How many times
How-
is that motherfucker on this
How is
list?
that even method acting?
He was just like, I'm staying in my character. He would have had to be on the streets without a coat, so I'm going to be on the streets without a coat.
That's dumb. I'm sorry. That's dumb. Same with Ashton Kutcher being a fruitarian.
Well,
That's dumb.
Daniel Day-Lewis says, I went mad. I'll admit it. Totally mad. It was not good for my physical or mental health to do what I did. And everyone's
least
like,
he-
yeah, dumb.
May this be a
At
lesson
least
to
he
all of our
admits.
children who try to leave the house without a coat on.
Now listen, this article, this article was written before this happened, but Jeremy Renner fell 20 feet and broke both of his arms on the third day of filming the movie Tag.
Really?
No way.
Yes, he broke both of his arms, and then he texted one of his castmates, Leslie Bibb, and said, "Hey, I just broke my arms," and they just laughed. And he's like, "This isn't a bit. I literally broke my elbow and I broke my wrist on two separate arms." He came to set the next day with splints that could be removed so he could finish the movie, and then just put them back on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then that motherfucker gets run over by a snowmobile.
Yep. Then he gets run over by a
Yeah.
snowmobile, and he may never walk again, either the same way. And there was conversations that he might lose a foot due to the damage.
Damn.
So, dude, this guy has given his body to filmmaking. Well, I guess that wasn't during a movie, but still.
No,
Amanda loves Gary Oldman.
I sure do.
He gave himself nicotine poisoning after doing Winston Churchill because he had to smoke so many cigars. He smoked $20,000 worth of cigars for The Darkest Hour, playing Winston Churchill.
Okay, this is let me put a pin in this for a minute. This is where I have a problem because it's like, you know what? Nobody can say that he's a bad actor. Nobody can say that Daniel Day-Lewis is a bad actor. Like whatever.
Right.
And like even fruitarian Ashton Kutcher, like he
Right.
did a good job as Steve Jobs. Like,
Right.
but like this whole method acting thing, you all like. I think that these actors are so much in like a yes chamber.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people that are just like, oh, Gary, great idea, Gary.
Sure.
That like, they need someone outside to be like, that's fucking dumb.
He's like, dude, I'm smoking real cigars. And it's like, you don't have
Nobody
to.
would know.
You could literally do a fake
Or-
cigar and no one would have any
it's not
idea.
smell-o-vision.
Yes.
Well, or even like if you want to do like a real cigar for like the close-up shots or
Yeah.
like really stuff so it looks real, go for it. But like, dumb. I'm sorry. And then like Daniel Day-Lewis not wearing a coat, dumb. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
Like
Yep.
dumb.
He'd have the cigar 3/4 smoked, and he would light it up and he'd move the course of a couple takes and it would be gone. He would do that 10 to 12 takes a scene.
That would make me vomit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, and that's why he had nicotine poisoning because he literally just went
Wow.
nonstop. I don't know this girl, but I remember her from Deadpool. She plays Domino. She's Zazie Beetz. She fainted during an intense scene at the truck convoy, got burned by a stray shell casing during the shootout, and she still has a scar on her chest from it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In Deadpool 2.
In Deadpool 2, yep.
Wow.
Blake Lively shattered her hand while doing a fight scene with Jude Law on the set of Rhythm Section. Because of her injury, filming had to pause for 6 months while she was recuperating. She said, "My hand basically turned to feta cheese. I was lunging towards Jude Law with a fake rubber knife, and my hand collided with his elbow," she explained. She broke several bones and damaged many of the ligaments in her hand.
what are her bones hollow? That like how would that break?
I know.
How
I was
would that
thinking if
break
I
your
hit
hand?
somebody else's elbow, my hand wouldn't turn to feta cheese.
Or like you wouldn't think it would break so many bones in your hand. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
This one's Jackie Chan. I'm just gonna skip over it because you absolutely know that guy. That guy has had every bone in his body broken and has a hole in his head due to injuries that he's done on the set. That's
well,
wild.
a lot of times it might be different now, but like back when he first started, these movies or him couldn't get insurance like it secured.
Yeah.
Because they were like, no, your main star is doing all his own stunts. He's gonna die.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like,
You're
no, he
probably
won't.
right. Yeah.
No, he won't. And then they're like, just kidding. He had massive brain hemorrhaging, and
Oh,
it's like,
dude, he
whoa.
did so. I mean, he was busting through glass. He was going through barbed wire, like all of these crazy stunts. Of course, stuff's
Yes.
gonna catch you.
I will say that they did announce that he's going to be in the new Shang-Chi movie, and I cannot wait.
That
I
would be rad.
love Jackie
Is
Chan.
he gonna be the villain? Because that would be amazing.
I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure. All I know is I'm excited to see him on my screen because I love him.
Shang-Chi was my most pleasantly surprised film of the Marvel Universe because I went in with no expectations. I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was one of the best out of the series.
I've watched it multiple times. I really like
And
it.
I forget sometimes that it's part of the series because it doesn't feel like a traditional Marvel movie. Other
No,
than
well,
Trevor
especially-
Slattery or Slattery or what is his name?
Slattery.
Yeah, that he's in it. That part's great. But
Yeah, that movie's great.
last but not least, for the physical harm, Michael J. Fox was nearly hanged while filming Back to the Future Part 3. While practices for the stunt had gone well, Michael couldn't get his hands in the right place in time, and a rope got so tight it cut off of his airways. So he was basically, you remember the scene where he's the cowboy and he's dangling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. He's literally being choked, strangled.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, Brendan Fraser has been hurt multiple times on movie sets, but in the original Mummy, where he's hanged at the beginning,
Yeah.
that stunt did not go right, and it did. I think he passed out, or he almost passed out. Or
Oh,
something
see,
like that.
this is what happened
But
to
yeah.
Michael J. Fox is that he swung unconsciously at the end of the rope for several seconds before they figured it out.
Oh my god,
See,
that's terrifying.
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. Isn't that wild? Isn't
Yeah.
that wild?
Yeah.
They're like, wow, what a good actor.
Now, what's funny is you guys feel bad about all of these physical people. Just wait till you hear about the mental anguish these other people went through. You're gonna be
Well, I mean, I can only imagine, like, there are some movies where actors like play such like disturbed individuals that like if they really want to get into the mindset of the character, like I can imagine that they put their minds in very like foreign places, and it can kind of mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to talk about, is Austin Butler on there at all?
I don't remember.
So
on
Austin-
this one.
Austin Butler is the guy who did Elvis. He in the new Baz Luhrmann movie.
No, I
Elvis.
don't think that one was on here.
So, he wasn't like super bad, but like he did the method acting thing to such an extent. He didn't see like his wife and his like baby for like 2 years
Oh,
because like that just wasn't Elvis's life. And then like all the stuff he wanted to like embody Elvis. And it's like he doesn't talk the same anymore because he talked like Elvis for so long. And they're like people like have said like he as a person has changed. And I'm like,
Oh,
dude, that's
interesting.
too far.
Yeah, fair. This is a new movie too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Newish.
Okay, so first up, Freddie Prinze Jr. claims that Scooby-Doo ruined his career. He says
mean-
the tongue-in-cheek comedy live-action Scooby-Doo brought a lot of smiles, certain generations that were critically mixed, embraced. But Freddie Prinze Jr. says that he was absolutely miserable playing
Freddie.
Freddie. Yep. And that
I mean-
now, since then, he was jaded about acting and hates both of the Scooby-Doo films like terribly. So
Okay, let me say, they're not that bad. They're not good.
Sure.
They're not good.
Yes.
But the first one, I think, was actually written by James Gunn, but it was written as an R-rated movie. It was not a kids movie.
Got it. Yep.
And then the studio got involved and was like, yeah, absolutely not. There's no way we can make this into an adult movie. So like, if you watch it, it very much has like Club Dread vibes, where like
sure,
it's a resort for adults and
Yep.
there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor. And but yeah, I mean, it did really like put a damper on a lot of their careers for a
well,
while.
he retired from acting for several years after the film's release because he was distraught. He says he was mentally
Well,
distraught.
Did it really like ruin his career, or is it that like
Well,
he
he's
just
not an
didn't wanna
actor.
act
No, he's not an
anymore?
actor anymore. He
I
went
know,
to go
but
write and produce for WWE instead.
when you say that something ruined your career, it means that it like marred your name and now like you can't get a job.
That's how he felt.
But it sounds like it was just that he hated it so much that he's like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Fair. I can see that. Yeah.
Well, and
That can be
and
his
honestly,
own
like,
mental anguish.
and I think it's hard because that like the writing, especially Freddy's character, is so dumb.
Yeah.
that, like he looked dumb and it looks stupid, and so I imagine like maybe seeing yourself back like that or like having people criticize it would be hard to handle.
Next up, Mike Myers claims that the Love Guru killed his career.
That's fair.
He says
The Glove
he was on
Guru
the
and Cat in the Hat.
well, Cat in the Hat, not as bad.
Because I don't
Okay.
feel like people know it's him and Cat in the Hat.
Well, and I
necessarily.
still think Cat in the
Fair.
Hat can be endearing. It doesn't make Mike Myers
hate Cat
like
in
a
the Hat.
terrible performance in that one, but Love Guru was terrible. He basically said Wayne's World killed it, Austin Powers killed it, Top of the World, and then he made Love Guru hoping this would be a new character that people would find interesting, and it flatlined so bad that he was like, I'm going to take a break. So he actually didn't act for a long time after that till he was in Inglourious Bastards, which is even then not a big scene. Right?
If
So-
you didn't know it was Mike Myers, you wouldn't know.
Right.
He doesn't look like Mike Myers or anything, and I think even now he has very minimal roles that he does.
So change it up here. Elizabeth Berkley doing Showgirls ruined her career.
Yeah, I think it ruined her, not her reputation, but like
Her image.
her image.
Well,
yeah.
she said she wanted to do
Yeah.
something incredibly different, and she said yes to doing the lead role of the adult-themed Showgirls. However, it changed her image so quickly that it tarnished it, where she couldn't return back to being a wholesome actress
Yeah, that doesn't
again.
surprise me.
Yep. It backfired, and the reviews for Showgirls were really bad. So she said it wasn't even worth doing it.
No, I think it might be a different story if her acting is good in it. If the movie was good,
Right.
I'm sorry, it's stupid.
Well, yeah, fair. It's not great. I didn't actually know this. Bruce Willis said Die Hard ruined his life.
Okay.
So
Bruce Willis-
apparently. So this is for a reason you wouldn't think of, but go ahead, Amanda.
Bruce Willis is one of those guys that, like, he's I mean, obviously he's not acting anymore. I'm not talking about what's going on with him medically now, okay? But, like, he very much seems like one of those guys who, like, can't be bothered. He's, like, bothered to be doing interviews. He's bothered.
Well,
and
what's funny is
I imagine...
Die Hard skyrocketed his career.
Well, is he bothered because does he hate it because now all they want him to do is action movies?
No, he's mad because the scenes that he was doing left him with 2/3 of his hearing, and his left ear is gone now. So
Well-
apparently Bruce Willis has been deaf in his left ear for the last 30 years.
Huh.
Yep. And he says, I wish I hadn't have done Die Hard, even though it skyrocketed my career, I would still have my hearing.
Can we talk though for a moment about what is medically going on with him and how freaking awful that is?
Because isn't this one where like you can't put sentences and words together, or
I
they
think
like
it's called
jumble in your head?
aphasia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like you literally like you can't comprehend language
Right.
anymore.
Yep.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, like it's like you look at a pencil and you know what it is and you know what it does. You just don't know what it's called anymore.
yeah.
And like and like that's like the beginning of it, and then you slowly start like forgetting how to do other things, like, and forgetting how to, it's like, it's not Alzheimer's where like you forget how to do things or forget people. It's like your brain forgets how to brain.
That's so crazy. And is it from all the jarring? Like, isn't it a common athlete problem down the road?
I don't know.
I don't
know if his is
I don't think
related
there's like
to
a specific
anything.
cause.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is George Clooney. George Clooney says Syriana ruined him. It was a political thriller that was praised by critics worldwide. Once won a bunch of awards, but it was a heavy cost to his brain. He experienced a traumatic brain injury while on set, leading to long-term headaches and neurological side effects. It was so extremely painful that he contemplated taking his own life multiple times. From the film. Yep, he says he had to have multiple brain surgeries and regular therapy just to get back to what he would call the beginning or normal. Which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Judy Garland. I'm going to pass on this one, Amanda.
I mean,
you can talk
listen,
about her a little bit.
Obviously, I'll go more into Judy Garland in my Wizard of Oz episode. But that poor woman, like, she was so mistreated by these people who were supposed to be helping her and looking out for her, and like the Mickey Rooney is another one who they were kind of rising at the same time, and they were so like abused is the correct word, but it's not really word. They were so taken advantage of, and they were given medicine. They were given pills to be like up and peppy and happy, and then they were given downers to go to sleep. And
I've heard about this type of stuff at other actors and stuff too. Yeah.
I mean, they did her so dirty that, like, by the time she eventually like died, like, you just feel sorry for her.
Yeah. That's no.
It's crazy.
I'm excited to get into the Wizard of Oz episode with you because there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened. Chris Kattan says Corky Romano ruined his career. He says
How?
it was a 6% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and Kattan's career died immediately. He was never considered for another major role since that movie. Like, he literally
because that
could
movie's
not
a piece
get,
of shit.
He literally could not get a lead acting role.
I mean, I imagine it's hard to take him seriously, and if that kind of humor, if you want to call it that, is like not what people find funny anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, where does he have to go? Like, he's kind of a one note.
Some of those, I don't know if I want to call them like decade style comedies. Like, I feel like things work for each decade that we're in, and then they just die. Like, they're not funny anymore. He's one of those people that is trapped in the year 2000. Like,
wasn't he Night at the Roxbury with Will Ferrell?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And
Like,
Will Ferrell skyrocketed, and Chris Kattan went the other direction.
That movie's funny,
I know. It is funny.
but then you give me Corky Romano, like,
I know.
bye.
It's sad. It's sad because it shows that he could have went somewhere.
Yeah,
But was it only popular because Will Ferrell made it funny?
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Gina Davis says that Cutthroat Island ruined her career. She
I
said
believe it. That was one of the biggest flops of all time.
Yep, she said it was a dog shit movie, and her husband at the time, Rennie Harlan, was the director, and they divorced after it because they blamed each other for the movie not having success. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Is that crazy to like divorce because a movie wasn't successful? Like, I just find that to
bad.
be wild. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like so many actors have done a bad movie. Like, how do you not
Fair.
come back from that?
Honestly, I think the one for me that I assume was on the list that we didn't talk about was like Heath Ledger obviously was the one that I guess like more popular culture that I can think of that like the mindset that he had to get into for the role was so like altering to his psyche that like the person he became, like he ended up like dying because of it. Like, and that's like wild to me that you could put your brain in such a place for a role.
Yeah, especially people that are method actors or get yourself into that. That's also one of the ones, if you're going to do actors that passed away and that had to be recast in the middle of the film, that was one of them.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, then, you know, I mean, I know we've talked about what a shit show Suicide Squad was, but like, you know, I remember when that movie was being filmed, like there was all these reports of Jared Leto about how his method acting was so extreme. He was like sending gifts to his co-stars that were like dead rats and like all this nasty
I heard about
stuff.
that too.
That I think that's ridiculous. Like, dude, don't send me weird shit. Like, come on. Like, that's so gross.
I imagine when we talk about, especially, I don't think we've done an episode about body transformations. But we've talked a lot about it, right? Like the Machinist,
Well, in
and
our-
Brendan Fraser
Yeah.
and the Whale, and like all that type of stuff. I just wonder if that stays with you forever, because Jared Leto's one of those people that gained a bunch of weight and lost a bunch of weight for the role too.
Yeah, because like Brendan Fraser, his is not real. Like he's in a fat suit, but like, I think we talked about Christian Bale and Jared Leto. I think on both of their Street Cred episodes, which go check those out if you haven't listened to those yet. But yeah, I think like people doing big like changes in their body for a role that has to leave lasting damage. Like especially Christian
Yeah.
Bale, how he gets so thin and then like he'll get so heavy for like the Dick Cheney role.
Right.
How could you know, as he gets older, like your body can't keep up with that.
No, that's a lot, I think, back and forth for sure. That's it's
Yeah.
just too much. It's just too much. But I mean, I think it's funny, some of these actors, whether it's method acting or I want to do my own stunts and they're breaking stuff out there, that type of stuff I expect from something like Jackie Chan. But it's interesting when you're an actor like Isla Fisher who's in a tank and you're drowning. Like that type of stuff freaks me out more than anything else.
Well, and I think that, you know, I would imagine that like if you were an actor, like you want the props of like, yeah, I did it myself. I didn't have
Right.
somebody stand in for me.
Right.
But, you know, also these stunt actors, that's what they are trained to do. That is their job.
Right.
They do the stunts. And yes, unfortunately bad things happen. Like that's terrible. But like, you know, it's like these stunt actors, that's their job. They're trained on how to do this stuff. So I would be curious how many of the accidents that happen, you know, obviously some are just plain accidents, but like how many could happen due to an inexperienced actor
Yeah.
doing this instead of a well-seasoned stunt actor.
Oh, sure. Because you know you're going to do it wrong. Like, or not as well.
Yeah.
So you're more prone to injury. But
Yeah, I mean,
that's what, I mean, it's just why it's wild. And I mean, that list was just like 20 or so. I imagine it's happened to a lot of different actors too. So, and that was
Oh,
just on
yeah.
the physical injuries and stuff. All right, Amanda, where can people find us and they can tell us about their favorite people that were injured? It doesn't make sense, but
come talk to us about fruitarianism at our Instagram at Real Awkward Podcast. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Real Awkward Podcast. $3 a month gets you exclusive episodes and some other stuff. And that's it.
and that's it. Come hit us up.
And that's
We'll
it.
talk to you guys, and we'll talk to you guys on the next most phenomenal episode of the Real Awkward Podcast. Thanks for sticking with us on this one, guys. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.